Hello, hello. My name is William Alexander Peña Cardenas, and this is a typical class that we are going to have exploring the traditions and the cultures that we have around the world. So, we have some activities here. You are going to act as a student. So, imagine that is your class, your personal class. Yes, you as a watcher and me as a teacher. So, if you are going to take this class, please stay out until the end of this video. And so let's go. We have here a series of slides, and the first thing that we have to get to do is guess the tradition. Guess the tradition. So I'm going to give you like 5 seconds. I'm going to show you a series of images, and you are going to guess what is the tradition here. Yeah. For example, in the first one, what kind of tradition is this? One, two, three, four, five. If you said in your mind, Peru is correct, okay? It's right. This is a kind of structures or buildings that they construct in the eras before that is very, very popular there to go to Peru and to take pictures there. In this moment, it's a more than tradition. It's like a cultural place too, and it's very famous. That kind of mountains there, yes, and the kind of buildings. The next one, what kind of tradition is this? You have to guess. One, two, three, four, five. If you say China, yes, it's correct. It's China. Yes. That is very, very typical that they use dragons and the color red for their sort of celebrations on the New Year in China, no? So they typically use red, yes, wear red clothes, maybe the red dragons or the gold. The gold is very common too to see there that color in that cultural place or in that kind of the world. Okay, let's do the next one. What kind of cultural tradition is this? One, two, three, four, five. If you say India, yes, it's correct. It's India. They typically use dresses like that with that kind of colors. They typically use to cover their faces on their heads. Yes, and they typically used to dance and all the time are dancing and singing and taking or playing instruments. Yes. Okay, let's go to the next one. What kind of typical tradition is this? One, two, three, four, five. If you say Ireland, Ireland is the correct pronunciation of that. Ireland is correct. They typically use green for their traditions, celebrations, and they they used to be like kind of red hair. Yeah, all of them. The red hair is very common there. And maybe they used to use green and goblins and maybe this kind of gold in a pot. Yes, with the goblins is very common there. And some of them used to wear that kind of skirts, yes, on instruments, and maybe some hats, big hats. Okay, we have the next one. What kind of typical tradition is this? One, two, three, four, five. Okay, if you say that is in Mexico, in the place of the typical tradition of that photo, it's correct. It's Mexico. Yes, they used to celebrate the Day of the Dead. So they used to wear costumes with colors and schools in as a makeup, no, and the customs there, and that is very common, no. So we have some video clips here. We're going to see, and after that, we're going to do the practice stage. Yes. So we have Peru, China, India, Ireland, and Mexico. First, pay attention to the videos, and later we're going to do the practice stage. Yeah. So the first one, let me have the volume. So this is Peru, no? For example, we have a typical woman here that is walking around the like a kind of crops. They used to be farmers. They used to uh, have the kind of mountains like that, green mountains, and they have the tradition of the religion that is located in those mountains, you know? And we have that kind of handicrafts. They used to they used to wear that kind of uh, dresses made it by hand. Yeah, we have here, for example, this kind of hats that are very common there, and this kind of let me search if we have the translation of this because that is like kind of poncho, but if we see here maybe the translation of that, maybe we have one. So it's kind of woolen fabric or poncho or ruana, no? Its name is proper name here in Latin America, no? The poncho and ruana. Okay, we have the structures. We can see that the structures are built by stones, no? Like kind of paths in between the yeah, and they have that kind of sculptures. Yes. The food is very delicious there. They cook very, very well, I think. I'm from here in Colombia, and I went to the typical restaurants of Peruvian restaurants. They are very delicious, almost as Mexican, I think. I don't know. So that is Peru. So let's go to the next one, and let's go with China. China,
Today's country is China.
as you see, the red flag here. Why do you think it's red? That is my first question to you. And that is my first task to you, Investigate why red, no? Maybe because it's passion, the passion, maybe because it's love, maybe because the blood. I don't know. Yes, you have to investigate that. That is my first task to you.
China is a country in Asia. China is far away and it takes about 11 hours to fly there.
As you see, the territorium there is very
Asia.
huge,
China is
no?
far away and it takes about
Compared to the other countries in Asia, China is very huge and big. And their population a few years ago are the most populated country in this world, but I don't know in this moment, I think it's India.
11 hours to fly there. People in China speak a few different languages.
They used to use the Mandarin for the language and to write too,
But the main one
I think for us as Latin American people, it's very complex to write like that, no?
is called Chinese Mandarin. More people live in China than any other country in the world. China invented many of the things we use today, including paper.
Okay, the video is saying that China invented a lot of things today that we used and we continue using today, no? Like paper, no? Paper was designed or created by China.
Umbrellas,
Umbrellas,
kites, and
the kite too, the kites that we use in August.
fireworks.
And fireworks.
China is famous for food. A large country with many different types of food all over it. China has delicious meats, scrummy dumplings.
I didn't try the Chinese food, but here in Colombia just are like kind of Chinese rice, but I don't know, the taste and the flavor is very common like there in China. And I think it's approaching to the same flavor, but I think it's not. I think that if you want to taste the true flavor, you have to go there.
Pretty vegetables, and they eat birds' nests, which are one of the most expensive foods in the world. Every year, China celebrates an animal.
Okay, it says that every year China celebrates an animal. For example, we have the animal here on the right. We have the tiger, the tiger. It was celebrated in these years.
But sometimes they celebrate the imaginary dragon. Dragons are very important to Chinese
Okay, dragons are very important to Chinese people.
culture and art. China is home to many wonderful animals, including giant pandas and pink dolphins.
Giant pandas and
There is a very old wall in China. It is the longest.
okay, this is a typical place, a tourist place in China, the Great Wall. And it's very populated by people in China, to go there and walk around the wall, the Great Wall in China and take pictures of that. That is very huge too.
Wall in the whole world. It is called the Great Wall of China. In China, they don't say hello. Instead, they say ni hao.
Okay, instead of say hello, you have to say ni hao.
Oh, don't forget.
Okay, let's go to the next one. So we have India culture.
Traditional foods, dances, music, art, and languages make this Asian country unique. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be learning more about the culture and cuisine of India. The flavors and ingredients of Indian cuisine have permeated the foods of other cultures around the world. A number of
Okay, one thing that is very common there and is very used is cook with their own hands, no? Everything. And to serve in the plates too, with the dishes, and take your food with your hands and take that and put it in the dish. They don't use kind of other things or tools or silverware in the Chinese kitchen.
herbs and
The India, sorry, in the kitchen.
spices are native to the country, which explains why these tastes are used so abundantly in India. Chili pepper, brought to the country by the Portuguese, is another example of a popular flavor in Indian cuisine. India is also famous around the world for its tea industry, and
Okay, that is very popular for there around the world that you used to, for example, buy the tea and you see the flag of India there, and it's from the Hindu culture, no? The most of the teas are produced there.
to a lesser extent, its native coffees. Tea is thought to have therapeutic properties and has been drunk ceremonially for centuries. In fact, India drinks and produces much of the world's tea, with cultivation of the plant tracing back hundreds of years. Coffee is also an important part of day-to-day culture in certain parts of India, and the country's native drink is quite unique. India has a tradition of beautiful folk art. Rangoli is one such example, and is a decorative design painted on the floor or ground. Thought to bring good luck, these designs are often in the shape of flowers and are usually made for special occasions. One colorful special occasion in India is the wedding. Lasting several days, these events are festive and full of tradition. One element that has been adopted from Western culture is the wedding carry, where the groom carries the bride across the threshold. Dancing is an important part of Indian culture, and a number of the country's
Yes, they used to dance a lot. Everything is with dancing, dancing, dancing. Yeah. If you're going to, I don't know, to celebrate your happy birthday, they used to dance for that.
most well-known gods are normally portrayed dancing. There are a variety of different dance forms to be performed in different locations and at different times. One important element that is often seen in Indian dances is a form of sign language that is used to tell a story. Traditional clothing in India varies from region to region, but one colorful piece worn by women is the sari. These colorful silk scarves are draped over the body in a variety of ways and
Yes, they used to cover their head with scarves and that kind of typical dresses there with those kind of eh, like I don't know how to say that that is like very impacting colors, like beautiful colors, I think, for them.
and can be worn as part of a traditional outfit. Colorful, unique, and steeped in tradition, Indian culture is an experience that needs to be savored firsthand.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Next one is Ireland. Ireland is one of my favorites. It's a short video. Okay, we have some traditions in Ireland that they have some stories about huge animals like monsters and their lakes, their their places. So let's try to see and understand them. Or yes, it's better like that. So yeah, as you see here, we have the pot filled with gold, and that creates like a rainbow that is like I don't know, protected by a goblin, no? The goblin used to protect the spot, the pot with the gold because is his gold, no? His gold and he used to protect it. The Irish dancing. As you see here, you can see that kind of monsters in the lakes. And let's see. Okay, we have some dresses there, but that is not very common to use that kind of dresses. But they used to, yes, they used to dance in like, it's not a typical dance, it's like an Irish dance. They put their hands in their backs, and they used to like using a top dancing. That is a drinking culture. Drinking is about the beer. They produce their own beer, like German, I think. They used to drink a lot beer. Yeah. Okay, the landscapes there. Yes, the Irish landscapes. Always, most of them are constructed. Those kind of buildings are constructed in like in the border of that water of the sea and the land that we have there, that kind of old structures. Yeah, they use the animals in farming too, and the green land is very green. Large traditional families, they used to have a lot of kids. Yes, you have a huge family before. It's a religious society. They pray for the Lord, the Jesus, and the God. And as you see, the most common uh, custom there is to use the dresses in green. Yeah, most of them is like a good look. That is lucky for you to use a green dress. Okay, we have the last one, I think, here in Mexico. Let's see. See the Mexican video.
Hello and welcome to our channel. Ireland is known for its green landscapes, friendly people, and lively music. But there are also many things that most people don't know about this lovely country. Here are 17.
Okay, it says Mexico is the 12th.
Many people associate the color green with St. Patrick's Day. The Irish...
Sorry. Mexico is the 12th most populous country in the world, with over 123 million people as of July 2016. Okay, that kind of skin, they used to call that the mestizo. That is a mix of Amerindian and Spanish. Yes, that is American, Indian, and Spanish. So that is a group that accounts for 62% of the population. Yes, they are mestizos. Okay, it's about the 2021. Is Amerindian of predominantly Amerindian, while 10% of the population is white, only 10%. Okay, their language is Spanish, and 92% speak Spanish. About 6% of the population speaks Spanish, as well as indigenous languages. We have Mayan, Nahuatl, and other cultural regional languages, yes, as Indians. Let's skip this. There is like some information there about the family, one large family. Okay, we have some food here, I think. Okay, Mexican's cuisine varies widely between regions, as each town has its own culinary traditions. So they used to use that kind of food that we saw in the picture. So a lot of vegetables, onions, and including the nachos, and we have the other kinds of food made by flour. Yeah, we have here the tortillas and other food made from corn, the most common everywhere. Yes, I think when you think about the food of Mexican food, you think about tortillas ev- and all the time, no? And that is a like hot, like the peppers there, tomatoes, and of course beans. About potatoes and pumpkins too. Okay, we have here about the music, the country. The country music is closely associated with the mariachi style, no? Or folk music there. That is which originated in the southern part of state. I think it's in Jalisco during the 19th century. And we have here two significant like icons from Mexico. That is Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. And here we have some pictures of them. And they give to the culture like those kind of vibrant colors and depictions of life, you know? Okay, the Feast of Our Lady Guadalupe is the major Mexican holiday. Okay, we have a typical a custom there that is to celebrate the holiday and the appearance of the Virgin Mary to an Indian man in the first years of Spanish rule. And the most common and typical from all the world is the Day of Death. It's a day that set aside to remember the honor of those that have died. And what else do we have here? Okay, May 5th or 5th. That is a military victory over the French in 1862. Is more widely celebrated in the United States than it's in Mexico. Okay, I think it's time for the practice stage, no? We have here practice stage. We're going to read some kind of uh, clue words or maybe clue phrases about some cultural places. And at the end, you're going to answer some questions, okay? We have the Diwali in India. Diwali in India. That is known as the Festival of Lights. Yes, Festival of Lights, the Diwali in India. Celebrated by Hindus, Sikhs, and Jains, the typical people from there. Homes are decorated with oil lamps or the dijas. The dijas is the name of that lamps and colorful rangoli designs. Families exchange sweets and gifts. The sweets and gifts in that celebration, the Diwali. Fireworks are a major part of the celebration too. Okay, that is compared with Hanukkah or the Chinese Year or Christmas. Yes, a kind of comparison of similarity. The Chinese New Year we have here, that is celebrated based on the lunar calendar. The lunar calendar. The dragon and lion dance are performing in these streets. Yes, that is very important for them. The dragon as an icon from there. That is, families prepare a large feast. The feast is like I don't know, like a kind of huge kind of food in your table. That is a kind of feast. And give red envelopes. The red envelopes always contains like kind of money. Yeah, the red envelopes. That kind of envelopes that you give to the children. That is very typical there. That you used to put some money inside and give the gifts with money. Okay, fireworks are set off to ward of bad luck. Compare with Diwali, that one that we saw before, Dia de los Muertos, Thanksgiving, tradition in USA, no? The Chinese New Year. We have the Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, celebrated in November 1st and the 2nd. So there are 2 days there celebrating the Dia de los Muertos. Families create altars and like kind of offers, ofrendas, to honor their deceased loved ones. Okay, we have sugar schools named as calaveras of sugar, made of sugar. Marigold flowers decorate the altars. Traditional foods like pan de muerto are prepared, compared with Halloween, the Chinese Year, or the Thanksgiving. But the most common is Halloween because they used to wear costumes, And we have the Thanksgiving in USA, celebrating the fourth Thursday of November. Yes, it is very common because they celebrate as the same date. It's very close. The Thanksgiving to the Dia de Muertos. No, it's on the fourth of Thursday of November. Maybe it's the same day as the Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, the Thanksgiving in USA. It depends of the calendar. Families gather for a big meal, including turkey, mashed potatoes, and pumpkin pie. The holiday focuses on gratitude, on spending time with family. Large parades, eh, they used to have a huge parades of the most representing icons from the USA. Yes, you see like I don't know. For example, the most common the most common icons from there are, for example, from movies, from cartoons, from typical presidents. I don't know, whatever you want to represent from USA are represented in that parade. Yes, For example, Mickey Mouse, I don't know, things that are created there. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln, and those kind of parades are very, very huge celebrations there. Yeah. And football games, the typical football games, not the soccer games, because soccer games you used to use your foot for that. The football, uh, that is the sports that you have to take the ball with your hands and throw it. No, that is the football, the American football. Are part of the tradition compared with Christmas, Diwali, and Dia de los Muertos. Okay, we have here the reading passage of festivals around the world. We have we have to read this first before answer the questions. So remember, if you have maybe to take time to read, you can pause this video and continue with the next part. So, for example, we have here people celebrate traditions of festivals in different ways. Some festivals focus on light, yes, as we saw before, like Diwali in India, where families light oil lamps and enjoy fireworks. Similarly, in China, the New Year is celebrated with firecrackers and dragon dance to welcome good luck. Remember that good luck um, is very common in Ireland too, no? To use a green dress, for example, no? In Mexico, and Dia de los Muertos is a festival to honor those who have passed away, that have died. No, families set up colorful altars with candles, flowers, and photos of their loved ones. Meanwhile, in the United States, Thanksgiving is a time for gratitude, where families enjoy a large feast together. Although these celebrations are different, they all bring families and communities together. So, time for questions. Yes, remember, if you have to take time to answer these questions, just pause the video, okay? Comprehension questions. The first one that we have here is to pick or to choose or to check what is the correct answer here. The first answer is which festival is known as the Festival of Lights? Yes, I'm going to give you, if you're not going to pause the video, 5 seconds. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the answer is Diwali in India. Remember that it's known as the Festival of Lights, Diwali in India. Okay, the next one. What do families eat during Thanksgiving? During Thanksgiving in USA, in United States. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The most common food there in Thanksgiving is, of course, turkey. Yes, it's very common to eat the turkey there during the Thanksgiving. Next one. What do people do during Dia de los Muertos? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, during Dia de los Muertos, they create altars for their loved ones, okay? They create altars for their loved ones. And of course, they set off fireworks and wear costumes and that kind of things. But the most centralized the idea to do there in that part of the celebration is to create altars for the died people. Okay, next one. Which two festivals include fireworks? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, yes. The Diwali and Chinese New Year. Remember that China create the fireworks, and they use a lot of fireworks in their celebrations. Yes, and Diwali too. But in this year, in this decade, China is trying to use drones to celebrate instead of fireworks. I don't know if they are going to replace in totality the fireworks for the celebrations, but yes, they are trying to implement that kind of drones for create like figures on the sky and that kind of things. Yes. Okay. And we have like kind of task for you. You have to create like a small talk, like a small presentation with maybe uh your friends or something like that and talk about that. Yes. Just meet with your friends and talk about that and try to express your ideas about the cultural traditions that we have here. Yeah. And maybe you have to write a short paragraph comparing two traditions, no? Compare, for example, the Thanksgiving and the Dia de los Muertos, or the Thanksgiving and versus Chinese Year. Yeah, you can compare them. Okay. Um, please comments below. Write one thing that you have learned about cultural traditions that you haven't learned before, okay, in the comments below of this video. And that's it, okay? So, thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video too. So, finish.